Oh, they have Dungeons and Dragon skins. It's cool. I
That
accidentally
doesn't
got to the
surprise me at
menu.
all.
Hello, hello.
Wait, why can't I see my hands?
Ooh, the
Can you
druid's
see
cute.
your hands?
Pretty sure I could see my hands, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I could see my hand.
Mine doesn't do anything. What the heck?
I'm sure that's a setting. Perhaps.
I broke it.
So,
I
what
haven't
we're
even played on
doing
here.
For
Oops.
reference, we really enjoy talking about games and stuff, like discussing after the fact, but it's kind of awkward and probably boring to talk about a game in, oh, there's a spider, and not have anything else to do, like sitting in a menu. Oh no!
Oh my god, this feels so weird on computer. I haven't played
So
Minecraft
we're
on
gonna play
PC in
Minecraft
so
while
long.
we talk about Resident Evil 1 and like questions we have, opinions we have, just kind of also it's kind of a nice recap when we finish
Yep.
one game before we move on to the
Because we
next to make
plan on
sure
doing
we
multiple.
know what's
Yeah,
going
exactly.
on. I think that's helpful. But we
Okay,
just
I had
started
to
a
do
new
that.
world of Minecraft, so our goal is going to be find a place
I
to
don't know how to play.
set up home. Tony messed up his game.
I don't
He
know
doesn't
how
have
I
hands.
did it. I didn't even change anything.
He cut off his hand. So we're gonna play Minecraft while we talk about Resident Evil 1 and catch up on that. And then we will be going to play Resident Evil 2.
How did I break it?
It's also nice because it's like a chill game. Everybody knows Minecraft is a chill game.
Yeah, right.
And we just got back from Minnesota and our schedules are not synced.
No. No, it is not.
Oh,
What's
there's
your
bunnies.
FOV?
I haven't played. All right, so when we played Minecraft regularly, we played on the Xbox, and it was like Xbox One Edition Minecraft. And I feel like the updates that they put into the game weren't added to that one as
Oh
quickly.
no, they were.
They were.
They were pretty
Are you
on
sure?
average around the same time typically.
Well, then I guess we just haven't played Minecraft in a really long time because I don't remember there being
No.
bunnies. And
We
this
have
is
not
new
played.
dirt. This is
The
definitely
dirt
new
is new.
It's red sand. It's not sand.
Pay dirt. Do you get that reference? Do you know what that is?
It's pay dirt.
Yeah, do you know what pay dirt is?
No.
It's useless information. I actually don't need to tell you because you'll never use it ever. That's what like gold, like where gold is in dirt. It's pay dirt. You're welcome. If you ever win like $1 million question, it will be something like that.
It's because Tony told me what pay dirt is.
Exactly.
All right,
You've seen
so
Slumdog Millionaire, you know.
Resident Evil 1. Just to remind, like, I've never played Resident Evil games. Oh, and now it's dark, Tony. We need to make a little hovel hole. You can go off of this little statue over here.
I didn't tell Amber yet that I made this on the hardest difficulty.
And so I've never played Resident Evil. I've watched a little bit of like some playthrough of some of the newer ones, but it was very discombobulated. It was not thorough by any means.
Thorough.
So this is really interesting going from the beginning. Like I know things just from like hearsay, you know, like, oh, Raccoon City is the city in
Raccoon
Resident Evil.
City,
But
right?
I've
Yeah.
never seen Resident. Tony, let's go to those towers. They're glowing over there.
That sounds like the place you shouldn't go.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Oh, the town. I see what you're talking about. Wait. Oh, I destroyed my HUD. That's what I did. I hit it somewhere. Somehow. I'm going to need to fix that. Ah, figured it out. I know what I did. God, I love the F1 keys.
So we'll get
like,
to
reminding
see
me stuff.
Raccoon City, I think, in Resident Evil 2, which is really cool.
Nope.
No?
No, yeah, you do.
He's-
I'm just going to say
said you
opposite. to
would.
him. Yes, you can. You are in. I take that back. To set expectations, you are going to be in a police station in Raccoon City. There you go. That should. Ooh, Amber, this is a no-no place. This is so booby-trapped. Where did you go? Did you already leave me?
I'm over there in the light.
You left. That was
I'm
fast.
already here.
So you already abandoned me, and we just
I told
started.
you where I was going, Tony.
I'm gonna explore this cave.
Straight up told you.
It is a This is a straight up temple. Ooh. This is so gonna be bad. I bet a second I step on this, I'm gonna die. All right. Anyway, so you think Resident Evil 2? You're gonna see
Raccoon City. Which I've heard lots of things about, but have never experienced myself. So I'm excited for that.
Whoa.
I'm stealing. Oh, he has a cat. Oh no, I let his cat out. I let his cat out.
that cat's gonna die, and you know who that villager is going to blame?
I'm so sorry, villager.
All right, I'm gonna go chill there.
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing that in a little bit. But to recap, Resident Evil 1. Let's see.
You know, when I was thinking about this, we were gonna do this talk, right? And I was like, all right, so the story. And then I sat there and I was like, we crashed.
Yeah.
We explored a mansion.
Yep.
And there were zombies. That pretty much summed it up that fast.
I think that essentially was it. But there was betrayal. So like
I know what I'm doing.
There was betrayal. They introduced you to
Barry?
Mr. Whiskers and Barry. So
it's Wesker.
I will say
people are gonna join this and be like, "Who the heck is Whiskers?"
One of the things I was pleasantly surprised by in the game for being a little older. I don't know. I know it was a remaster, but the original was to 1996.
1996. Yep.
Was that you had like you could divert the story by picking separate, by taking separate.
Amber, are you just letting everybody's cats run around?
Yeah, they're outdoor cats. So
now you mean they are outdoor? This is a kitten. Hello,
he's an outdoor kitten now.
Yeah. So like how you could make choices that would change like what your ending
outcome
was.
of the ending, for
like,
example.
Yep. I know of one choice. Because again, I was guided. None of this is my fault. I did nothing.
We were cheated, essentially. We cheated.
I'm not sure I would call it cheating, but...
I still think it's kind of cheating. But it's like, it's safe cheating. Like, it's not insulting cheating. Like, there's cheating that's, like, insulting to the game and the makers and stuff like that. I don't think...
No, guides are not
what
cheating.
The frick is that?
What?
What is that?
That's Bob. Literally. This is just Bob. What's up, Bob? Wow. Judging him by just off of his looks, that's not cool, Amber.
That's so concerning.
He is an iron golem, if I am correct, and there is an army of skeletons above him. Or zombies, whatever you are. So, anyways, to get back on track, we're just going to keep zipping back and forth between, like, thought processes. This is not going to end well. Okay, so to get back on track, so we were using a guide to get through it because we kind of wanted to get through that one pretty quick to get to, like, some of the other ones. Oh, geez, Amber. And then...
Sorry.
So... we were using a guide, and the guide told us, well, Amber, the wise leader who was reading the guide, told me to let Barry die. I wasn't going to let Barry die, but Amber wanted to.
I didn't tell him the options of what
She said, do you want a gun? And, you know,
down.
like, as any good gamer, you'd be like, heck, yeah, I want a gun.
Who doesn't want a gun?
And then I immediately let Barry be thrown off of a large platform. I wonder if Barry comes back. Oh, that's one of my questions is, like, where do you think this is all going to go? But anyway, so we let Barry die. He falls. Grandma, which was Linda.
No,
we also called her the
Linda.
Hag, which wasn't very nice. But
was it Linda?
Was it Linda?
It was Linda. It was Linda.
Lindall. Lindilly.
Linda.
Glenda.
It was Linda. L.
Linda. Okay.
Linda.
So we let Linda basically murder him, and then in her grief of murdering the Barry, she jumped off the cliff with him.
She did.
Which I did not understand at all. I didn't understand how that worked.
Why she jumped off, or?
Yes. Why did she jump off too?
Didn't the skull or something fall down? Of her mom?
You're right. No, she grabbed the skull and then jumped off with it. She had it and then jumped. That's what it was.
In my
she like
opinion,
opened the coffin.
Yeah. Because Linda was like this. They
She was
tried
a baby
giving
girl,
her
a little
the
girl.
virus.
God, that was a messed
And
up
it didn't,
story.
like-
What little story was in there was kind of
Weird.
demented.
It didn't like totally destroy her, but it altered her. So she was basically
We
the
called her
mentality
the
of
hag
a child,
for a reason. You
but
can
like
imagine,
this hag-looking creature.
right?
I'm in this house, by the way.
That makes sense.
I don't have a weapon.
Don't worry, I'll
waiting for
fight
the
them off
sun.
with my wooden sword. Ow! Wow, there's a lot of things out here. There we go. I'm rich in experience
Is
now.
this really on the hardest difficulty? Maybe you don't attack
yes.
him, Tony.
I'm not attacking the golem. Are you nuts? I don't want to die. Oh, shit. That's a zombie, too.
Yeah.
I didn't even see you there. Boop. Technically, the golem should attack. Oh, Amber, behind you. Yeah, do you still, like, is this really the hardest difficulty? You turn around and there's, like, 6 zombies. But, so, back to the story. Barry, okay, how about we just start from the top, and then as we go through, we'll go over our questions. So let's just recap the story real quick.
All right.
All right, you go.
So
Was that easy in D&D
I
to
can't
be
think
like,
of
Amber's turn?
Team B. It's not Team. What the heck is this?
Or
camera
Team
doing?
B?
What is it? Alpha Team?
Bumbles?
Alpha Team. Alpha Team crashed.
No, Bravo team crashed.
Bravo Team crashed, and we're Alpha
Very
Team.
important. Big difference. Oh my god, wow, there's a lot of zombies out here.
And we're
Okay, we're Alpha Team. So we were Alpha
There's
Team,
Jerry.
which consisted of Barry, Wesker, Jill, and Chris, right? And then there
Yeah.
were a couple other people too.
yes, but those were like the main dudes.
We
We were
crashed.
sent to rescue the helicopter crew that crashed, which was Bravo Team, right?
Alpha Team. Yes, Bravo Team. You are correct. You're right. You're right. You're right. Do you want me
and-
to recap it?
No.
Okay.
We got to this creepy haunted mansion. We were like, well, this is a creepy mansion, you know, as one would.
As horror games typically have.
Yeah, as horror games typically have. And then we were basically just going through the mansion trying to find this crew, and along the way we were finding hints and clues about the Umbrella Corporation,
Portion of it right back. And if we
Um,
just flip it around,
Oh, it's a touchdown.
which is where the storyline really starts, and we discover I don't know if it's beforehand that or not that did you just get kicked too?
Maybe. I may have done something I shouldn't have. All right, you can join again. I didn't know
Nice,
it would
thank
do
you.
that. I was trying to bring up my viewer
Very kind
thingy,
of
so
you.
I knew what the heck was going on.
Very kind of you.
Because my, I didn't pull that up when I started. All right, you can join now. Anyway, so we basically crash land. Dogs are attacking us. People are dying left and right. God, you have me calling them Whiskers. Whiskers, Jill, and Barry run into the mansion, and then they're wondering why they're there. They were sent to investigate something about some kind of outbreak or something. That's why Bravo Team went in. We basically land. We get into
Right.
the mansion. It's all kinds of creepy. There's weird puzzles, doors. Nobody understands what's going on. And as you go through this mansion, you slowly start to figure out. I'm just watching a villager be eaten alive by a zombie. Oh god, they turn into zombies too! I deserve that for not trying to help him.
You do deserve that for not trying to save him.
So, we go to the mansion. We're kind of looting it as we go. We're kind of picking up details. We're trying to figure out why are we actually there. Turns out the outbreak was organized by a pharmaceutical company known as
Surprise,
Umbrella.
surprise.
I know, right? They're
Not
the bad guys.
relevant
Who
at
would've
all.
thought? And then essentially from there, we just kind of go in our, you know, honestly, there wasn't a lot of story. It really didn't break it down a lot. They hinted at a guy named Spencer, right? He was like the lead scientist. Mm-hmm. So they hinted pretty heavily that Spencer was important to whatever work they were doing. And then by the end, you're kind of going through, they were experimenting on people, you're running around, you're shooting like evil zombie dogs and zombies all over the
Yeah,
place.
you're trying to save people on your team or the Bravo team when they get bitten by giant ass.
They're
snakes.
evolving. You had giant snakes, which was never explained, I don't think. And again, we didn't like find everything. We weren't like a perfectionist run of it. So I don't know if some of this is explained. I'm hoping some of it's explained in later ones. Basically, I know Umbrella just does exotic stuff. They just have crazy creatures. They have crazy like mutations, all kinds of stuff like that. And essentially, by the end, you knew Umbrella bad. You found something called the Tyrannus virus is what they were using to like turn people. I think it was the V virus by the end is what they were experimenting on, and that created the tyrants, these big zombie-like people.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I had chosen to
discovered-
steal Barry's gun instead of save Barry. That's when he went flying off of the little crypt-like platform and died. And I
Yeah,
did not
'cause
know
we
when you
wanted
shoot
his
the big
Magnum.
boss with that gun, you instant kill it, and that was the end of the game pretty much. You basically shot it, and you're like, you win! And then you fly away with Chris on
Yeah.
a helicopter, and that was it. That was pretty much the entire
That was
game.
literally it.
There really
Don't
wasn't
steal
a
my
whole lot
stuff.
more. Which I thought there would be more stuff, like story. I thought there would be more actual story in the game. So I'm really looking forward to 2 and seeing if they like upgrade that a little bit. What did you just do?
I don't
Picking
know. I
fights
got
with the villagers?
ambushed by a zombie.
But yeah, so that sums up the story. So,
Well,
on to,
I don't
like,
think
what we
so, because
actually do.
we thought Barry, which we'll never know at this point, we thought Barry was a bad guy. We thought he was on the other side.
No.
We kind of borderline knew.
No, we knew
that-
Barry was being, I'm assuming, blackmailed or he needed money for something. Which we should find
Right.
out, because Stars was part of the police force, and the second one is part of the police force's, like, story. You're in their police department. So I'm assuming
Okay.
more will be explained there. But
But
essentially...
then we did discover that Wesker, aka Mr. Whiskers, was
Weskers
in
was a
cahoots.
researcher for Umbrella and was part of Stars, which is your team. Which
yes.
you were
Okay,
alpha team
pause
of.
really quick, Tony. Did you find my stuff anywhere?
No.
It was
I have
bread
bread,
and
my
wheat.
sword, wheat. Is that yours?
Yeah, bread, wheat, emeralds, and
Here.
a couple planks.
Boom, boom, boom. What's a couple planks?
I had I had 4 sticks and 2 planks.
Boom. All right, there you go. So that pretty much sums it up. Wesker, bad guy. Are we gonna have a baby villager here in a sec? I've never
Are we gonna
watched
have a
this
baby
strange mating ritual occur.
Oh. Oh! Oh!
Oh my god.
That
You
was
guys are
cute.
freaky, just right in the middle of open. Okay, let's go,
That was
Amber.
quick.
Yeah, we're leaving. That is adorable, the little guys. What are you doing? Let's go!
I'm
We're going on an adventure.
crafting.
I'm leaving.
Do you have one more plank you can give me?
I have 20.
Can I have one?
I'm not sure I want to give you it.
Just want an axe.
Yes.
Thanks.
There you go. All right.
So,
So
yeah, that's the
Wesker bad guy,
story.
Barry bad guy, but we think he was blackmailed or something or did it for money. But he was obviously killing people we need, like our allies. So he was not a good guy.
No.
I don't think he ever wanted to kill Jill, but he definitely left her in situations that would do it for him. Does that make sense? He wasn't going to do it, but he was going to let other people do it.
Yes, I don't think he had any like fondness for us. Did you keep the wheat and stuff?
No, I threw it off the building to you.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. It's not there.
It's not in my inventory, Amber. You can check the stream. Lest the
This is a
villagers
problem.
pick it up. I threw it right down here. But anyways, that's not important. So we have the bad guys. You know Umbrella's the bad guys. And they wanted Stars to be eliminated. So we found one record thing saying that Stars
Which
was
we
gonna
never
be a
figured out
problem.
what stars stood for.
I think it's got to be like security. I have no idea. I'm not even gonna try. We just knew they're elite, like police force or whatever.
Right.
I'm leaving, by the way.
Oh.
So, my first question, which will be interesting from your perspective because you were the backseat gamer, what did you think of the gameplay?
I thought it would be extremely frustrating because of I liked it. Visually, I really enjoyed seeing it because it was very cinematic. With the whole idea of like the frames are static, like they don't move with you. You move within
You
the
have
frame.
no camera control.
I thought that was really cool. I actually really enjoyed that. But I can imagine from a player's perspective that it would be very frustrating. Gameplay, everything else, I don't know how like the aiming mechanics worked so much.
You basically just hit aim and you pointed, and then the camera or the game did the rest.
Okay. Yeah, then I still think it was pretty solid. I thought that was a cool dynamic. It was different. I had never seen anything like that before. Like the earliest like gameplay that I've ever played was like Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon, and then like Halo 2. That's probably like aside from like side scrollers.
Yeah. What about
I've
isometric?
never seen a lot of stuff like
Helldivers,
that.
like or the top downs. You've played
Right.
isometric. You've played Diablo, which came out a year, maybe 2 later after Resident Evil, I think. By the way. But Diablo 2, old, would
Right.
probably be at the same time period. And then, so that's
but then,
isometric.
Yeah, so I thought it was cool because I'd never seen anything like that before, and it was very cinematic, and I enjoyed watching it like that.
Okay.
And I think it helped with jump scares because they could like prepare for them.
Yeah, because they knew exactly where you'd be looking
they knew
at all times.
what you would be seeing.
For me, I did not like the gameplay. And I say that as a spoiled gamer who's lived in modern gaming for most of my life at this point. But I understood for the time, like, what it was. But the camera was very frustrating. And I think it could have been fixed with a couple little tweaks to actually how the character moved. To me, it wasn't the camera that was the problem. It was the controls movement. Like, when I would walk through a door, camera would swap. And then I'd just walk right back out the door again when it reversed.
Right. Yeah,
Otherwise, like, you
that.
know, like, I understood it. I do have to say that's probably the scariest game I've played in a long time, purely because of the cameras and how little control you had, but also because you only took 3 hits. Like, the hits were really fast. So you could die really easily if you weren't prepared. In old school games, don't have autosave, which, again, spoiled gamer, but I absolutely love autosave, and now everybody knows why.
Yep.
I save like crazy all the time. Anytime I walk through a door, usually I'm saving.
This is true. He is a panic saver.
Yeah, so for me, I wasn't like a super fan of the gameplay. I liked it because of the legacy behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a big one for me. Story-wise, what did you think of the story? For me, I wanted more story. I felt kind of like maybe that added to the horror element because you didn't know what the heck was going on. But as somebody today who does know there's more with Resident Evil, I thought there'd be more answers.
Well, like, yeah, like, going into it, we know that there's stuff, so it's like, oh, this is interesting, we're learning, but, like, if that was the first experience you had with Resident Evil, you'd be like, is that it?
Would you? That's my question. Like, we're coming knowing there's more, or was that enough back then, I wonder?
I think that our experience was a little bit more curated because we did use a guide. We knew what steps we were supposed to take in order of like this.
Yeah,
you know,
but in defense of the guide, then could you imagine how long that game would have been?
That's what I'm saying. If we didn't have the guide, we would probably feel even more disconnected because
you would just be wandering around.
Your ability to accomplish different things at different times. Like there wasn't a. Well, I'm sure there was a couple like, oh yeah, you have to do this before you can unlock this, but it was not, it was very, you are on your own, figure it out for yourself, which is like a lot of older games. I know that.
Let's go this way.
Like Morrowind was very similar to that in the sense of like, hey, I give you, here's your quest, here's the guy you're looking for, but I won't tell you where he is or what city he's in. Like, haha, good luck. I think it had a very strong feeling of that too.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, the story was mostly...
all set, however, in a very small map in the beginning. Like, no matter what part of the story you're on, you're in a very small, retraceable portion, which I know bugged you.
No. I mean, small maps are fine if there's lots of stuff always going on. Backtracking is what I don't like, which is what that was.
I need to make shelter. I don't want to die.
So the story became very frustrating because the story took place in one little map over and over. And that's fine if the little map has you going to different places all the time. And even if you're crossing in between. But when you're doing nothing but going through the same, like, 8 doors. Because eventually I found, like, a highway of, like, this is my route I like to take. And then that was it.
Right.
That became very difficult and boring and very repetitive very fast. So I would say that's what really started to slow down the story for me. And that's why I was like looking for this payoff and then it never really came.
I would agree with that. Do you have a candle?
Can you get out of the way?
A torch?
Amber,
Jesus
get out
Christ.
of the way. But yeah, so the story like just felt like it never really lived up to anything that it felt like it was supposed to be going towards.
I agree.
I don't have coal, so no, I can't do that.
Okay.
But besides that, I thought the story for the time was pretty good. But I have seen PlayStation 1 games that had like more story. I like to talk about the original Tomb Raider a lot because I don't think Amber has ever heard me talk about Tomb Raider, but everybody remembers the T-Rex scene in Tomb Raider. And
I remember watching you play it.
I would say that was the coolest moment in that whole game. But nobody remembers the zombie mummy alien in the final big baby boss fight that's actually in Tomb Raider, and nobody ever talks about it. It's like one of those obscure things that if you know, it's like hilarious because you know it, but otherwise nobody actually talks about that part. Did you seal in the door? Cool.
Did I what?
I was making sure you sealed in the door.
I did.
But like, so that's stuff that people don't talk about that they forget. But that was a story, even though it was like hilarious at the time. That was a big story inside that game, and that was a PS1 game as well. I can't remember what Resident Evil 2 came out on, but like I feel like they could have fit more in there, which leads to my next part, because a big part of what carries a story is the characters.
Do you have? Can you make a furnace so we can make?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Which would be the characters, and I felt nothing for all the characters until Wesker at the very end. Which, spoilers,
I felt
they
a
then
little
killed
something
immediately.
for Barry, because it was a will he, won't he, like, is he bad, is he not bad? So I think that was actually pretty decent. Ooh. Oh, you're already doing it.
And?
So I thought that's probably the first time that I felt like there's something interesting with the characters.
Okay. Barry, that makes sense. For me, it was Wesker, because very early on, Wesker's taking care of you. He's like, all right, we need to split up and be careful and all this. And then you go back to that main room and he's gone. And you don't see Wesker till like the very end again. So the whole time you're wondering, like, why did he leave? Where did he go? What was the point of that? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Wesker was the one that had me interested. And we all knew it was Wesker that Barry was talking to in like one scene throughout it.
Yes.
So that was enjoyable. Like, I liked
that.
Wesker's story, and you're right. I guess I didn't think about it originally, but Barry would also be like the immediate follow-up interesting character. Jill was boring and as bland as a Jill sandwich, which I'm so sad they took that line out of there. Have I showed you that line yet?
No.
Oh, I need to find it just to show you. Just like, this was a real line in a video game at one point. But it was hilarious.
I remember hearing about it, but that's about
did
it.
you just take all of my coal that I set up and built all of this with?
I put a lot in there too, actually.
Uh-huh. So, other than that, so that's like the main core parts of it, was like the character story and then like gameplay.
Yeah.
I think it's also has the benefit. There was like back then when it first came out, I'm assuming the creators knew they were going to try to go for sequels, so they knew where it was going. For me,
there's no way he couldn't have had an overarch. Like, there's no way that would end. So, like, the characters that they introduced that died were, like, the prissy lady with the jewelry.
What?
She died. She was a partner of Wesker, and then
Are you talking about Resident Evil 5?
Oh, is that 5? No. Is it? Oh, shoot.
I'm like, no,
This
that
is why we gotta do
not
this,
in
because
the
I would have
first one.
thought. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
How
I
can
would
you
have
even compare those
We played
two?
Resident Evil 5 because it was a
Oh my
co-op game, and
gosh.
we wanted to play a co-op game. So, okay. Okay,
So,
I got it
yeah,
now.
that's 5.
That's good that we do this, because I would have had her in my head the whole time.
Yeah, so
Who was he not partnered with anybody? No, he wasn't.
he had no
partnered with
partners.
anybody.
We don't know who he was working with besides, like, Umbrella. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Umbrella was it.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, besides that, there really wasn't a whole lot going on. Like, it just kind of... Wesker was the bad guy.
It felt like an introduction.
They were trying to get to
It
the
really
big...
did feel like an introduction. Like, I feel like they almost could have, like, made it a tutorial. I don't know if that makes sense. Not a tutorial, but, like, a sped up, like, hey, here's Resident Evil. Now get into the good stuff. Because I agree. I don't think there was any, like,
I mean, again,
shocking
1996,
moments.
and they didn't have any other games. Because what else would the good stuff have been? You know what I mean? Like, I think that was... There were many times I jumped because those cameras and stuff. So I would say it was the good parts. It just was old, and we knew more comes later. Which was my point, was like...
Would we feel more fulfilled if we didn't know how big the story was.
Yes, I think so. But I think it also is a double-sided, like, it's double-sided
Sword,
because I
double-edged.
also knew it was cool playing it because it was the first, and I knew where they were going, and you would have never guessed, because, yeah, was it a little crazy? They had giant snakes and libraries and all that. But it's a PS1 game. They had crazy stuff in all of them, but they kept it, like, going. So you had, like, the craziness in a PS1 game, but now we have it still today in modern day where you're fighting, like, Dimitrescu in, like, the trailers, who's this, like, 9-foot-tall zombie lady. And then there's fishmen. Like, there's so many funny things in Resident Evil, and yet it's serious and just not serious at the same time. They just bounce back and forth constantly. That's probably one of my favorite parts of Resident Evil and why I wanted to play them so badly. But, yeah, so overall, what it set up is what I was getting at, like, what my question, like, did you think it set up where it was going well? And I know you don't know 2, 3. I know a tiny, tiny little bit about 2.
Yes, I do, because
I know
I feel like it
nothing about
introduced
3.
me to characters. I feel bad about Barry's family.
He had a daughter, loving daughter. When he died, he left behind this cute little picture with the little thing saying, "I love you, Daddy." Daddy's dead now.
Yeah.
So, though I do wonder if he'll come back. That would be really funny if he did.
Yeah, I feel like Barry had more depth if we might have left him alive. I feel like obviously they introduced betrayal with Wesker, and I do feel like they introduced a lot of interesting concepts with the people who lived, owned, and worked in the mansion.
Which you knew was a big... Matter of fact, they didn't really talk about a whole lot of... They didn't really discuss a lot of, like, Umbrella, I realized afterwards. We know it's Umbrella. Did they ever say Umbrella? I don't think they actually did. Oh, I thought it was daytime by now. Goodbye. Have fun surviving. I'm just going up the mountain. I want to see where we're going.
Daytime.
Daytime's starting to roll around.
We're almost done anyways.
I don't know if they ever said Umbrella. Did they? They hinted at company. When did they say Umbrella?
There was Umbrella, and then there was another one.
That's said Resident Evil 5.
No.
Yes. Tricell.
Oh.
Do you know who said Umbrella? Because I don't think anybody said Umbrella, actually.
In Resident Evil 1.
First one when you're walking around. Because who would have said it?
About Umbrella?
It would have been like a notepad thing, if it was anything, right? Like
that's what I was thinking, yeah. And then like on the computer, not the computer. Yeah, there were a couple like little things. But...
I don't think the first one ever mentions Umbrella. And if it did, it did it in such an obscure way, it would be very difficult to know.
Oh.
I was up on the tree.
Sorry.
So it's funny knowing that they have not built out who the big bad guy is yet. We know it's Umbrella, but nobody else in there really seemed to. They just knew it was a research
Maybe they just
company.
hinted at like a pharmaceutical, like we're researching this for blah,
yes.
blah, blah.
But they did have the emblem, which was cool because we recognized it, that little symbol.
Yes.
Dude, when we were driving around Minnesota, no joke, there is a pharmaceutical medical company there that has like, what was it, green and white or blue and white?
No, it was blue and like white.
And it is the literal...
It's a new hospital there.
...copycat emblem of Umbrella, but it's blue and white instead of red. And it is so funny. I was like, when the zombie outbreak happens, we all know who did it. I could not believe, like, did they know? And to be honest, if I was the guy who designed that emblem, I would have so tried to pick something from Resident Evil. If somebody was like, hey, I need a, like, cool emblem for a hospital. I got you. I know immediately where it's coming from.
Nobody will suspect a thing.
Yeah, nobody will know. A tall mountain. But, so, after that, basically we went over my other question I wanted to bring up was, like, what we knew was coming, which we kind of already did. That's kind of cool. I want to go over there.
Right.
But otherwise, to finish this off, because we've been playing this longer than we meant to. It's so easy.
How do you feel about the actual characters, though? So, like, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she's a good character? Because I don't, personally.
Part of me wonders if they lost some of her character in the remaster because they made her normal. Because some of her lines were pretty funny, if I remember correctly, too. But Barry was the king of lines in the original.
Okay.
I thought Jill was boring. And
I felt like she was Sakura in Naruto.
Oh, yeah.
Except
she was blowing up people. But
like
yes.
they gave her responsibility and they gave her focus. Like obviously you could play it as her. She's Chris's partner. She's this important character, playable character. But then she was just kind of like
useless.
Borderline helpless in cutscenes.
My favorite is when the trap was trying to crush her and then the
Crush
door
her and she's
opens
like,
and she has a good
"Ellen!"
3 seconds of her just wiggling. Like her kicking her feet around and you're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Help me, Barry. Help
Like,
me.
just get out of the door. It opened. You're
Yeah.
literally touching the door frame.
Like it's open now.
And then
Go.
Barry grabs her and pulls her out. You're right. I totally forgot about that. But like,
That's where
she
I was like,
seemed
what
useless.
the heck?
yeah, so
Do you have bread on you?
no.
All right, we're gonna die.
Why?
Cause I have no. Well, I guess I'm not gonna die. I'm getting hungry though.
Gotta find some cows. But anyways,
Yeah.
so
Bunnies.
yes, for the characters, Wesker was the only one that really got me. But you're right. I think Barry was actually more fleshed out than Jill. But
Yes,
then
I
again,
do.
okay, there's the argument she actually did talk. But I would almost say she was treated more like a silent protagonist. You know, like the people like
But she wasn't
Skyrim.
though. I feel like if she was, that would make sense. But even in Skyrim, people talked about the deeds that you did and who you were, that you were this powerful character.
I mean, I would argue she one-shotted the tyrant. She killed the snake that killed her friend who sacrificed himself for her. She...
But you did that. But nobody acknowledged that. I don't feel like
But
her
you
dialogue
are Jill,
had
though.
I guess.
Like,
I
when you talk
guess.
about characters, they let her talk, which was interesting compared to, like,
She
just
was
keeping her
okay.
silent.
I don't think she was the worst.
Oh, I
but I do
definitely
feel
think she
like
was
they
boring.
could've
I don't
done
know if she was...
Better.
Honestly, Chris was worse, but we never played through Chris's version. We just
Yeah,
played through
Chris's
hers. But
playthrough.
Chris came in and was like, thank you for saving me. And then that was it. And then he's like, I'll face the zombie coming after us at the helipad. And then he just walked off, and then he walked back like, did it. That was
Yeah,
it. Now
he
I
did.
was like, okay, cool.
Well, thank you for that, Chris.
Yeah, so...
If you actually did
None
do
of
it,
the
we don't
characters
know.
really stood out except for Wesker, who was clearly evil, and then Barry, who you could tell was conflicted, which is just better writing. Like, you could tell they were the
Okay.
ones that had the story. Jill was just the, like, delivery device.
Right.
But otherwise, you know, I don't think there was any character I was really into. I'm really looking to Resident Evil 2 because I think you have to play through it twice, but I think that's part of the story. So you play one playthrough and then you play the other playthrough to get other stuff,
Right.
to see both sides. But you play as Leon Kennedy, which I cannot wait to see because I know Leon Kennedy
That's
is the
a
lead
new-
in the 4th one. Yeah, you haven't met him. And then you play as Claire Redfield, which is the sister to Chris Redfield, which was who we saved, and who you play in Resident Evil 5. So you know
Okay.
Chris because you played the
Hey,
5th
come
one.
over here real quick before we get off, because we're going to get off soon. But bring me the furnace.
Did that give you
And put
meat?
it... What? Yeah, they give you a little bit if you want to go hunting.
Oh, I see more. Oh, I'm just going to put the furnace right here. Boop.
Okay.
Don't you run away from... Wow, these things are fast. Holy crap.
They are quick little buggers.
Oh, one hit kills them, though. I got nothing from that. Are you sure they give you food?
Yeah, I have a raw rabbit right here.
I want raw rabbit. Maybe I'd be better off fishing. I don't know. But anyways, before we get off, just to like finish it out, like what did you think? So on scales of like, I always like the way you know a game is good is one, you either thought about it more, or two, you're gonna go back and replay it. So on that scale, like, are you ever going to go back and replay it? And did you think about it once you got off?
I do not think I will go I think you have to murder them by hand, Tony.
Nope, I'm getting it.
Oh. I do not think I would ever replay it.
Okay. And did you think about it?
Unless
at all
we
once you
had
were
like a
off?
really, like a big reason to, I guess. Maybe I would.
God, you guys are so fast.
They are quick little shits. But they spawn
that's
a lot.
That's a baby. No wonder it doesn't give you meat. Oh, there's a town over here.
Is
They
that the
probably
town we
have
went
food,
to?
Amber. Nah, this is different. I say we get off
Alright.
right here. So, you didn't think about it.
I did think
and-
about it. I wouldn't want to necessarily replay it.
Okay. For me,
That's how I feel.
I did think about it pretty often once I got off of it because I mostly was just curious about, like, Amber, we have baked potatoes for years. We're good.
Potatoes.
Bring the furnace over here and we'll get off in the town.
I don't have a pickaxe.
Of course you don't.
I can. Oh, I can make one. I can make one.
No, it's fine. Oh wait, I can't move. I can't sprint. Yeah, you do it. But like for me, I did think about it a lot, but mostly I think my thoughts were disappointment and I wanted more. But then you remember how old it is and that this was back in the like beginning of Resident Evil. Nobody knew what this was going to be yet. So in the end, I definitely thought about it a lot. I would definitely consider playing it again if I had somebody that really wanted to like watch Resident Evil 1.
That's how I feel.
I would never
like
play it without
if we
a
had
guide,
a really good reason to, I would consider replaying. Like I would be happy to replay it, but I don't think I will on like just a whim.
Yep, definitely. But yeah.
Especially considering how many of the other ones we have.
Yeah, to
left.
still play through. But
there are many.
Okay. So, all right then. So essentially what we're going to do then is we're going to just go on a quick break. And then we'll
switch
just,
over to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, switch back over, and then we'll be on Resident Evil 2, and we'll go through with that.
All right,
so
cool.
We'll be right back.
Ooh, this is a very pretty town.